Hey there, welcome back to the Clarity to CEO podcast. I'm your host, Philippa, your business strategist, content clarity coach, and your go-to partner for getting your ideas out of your head and into action. Now listen, if your audience has ever changed on you midstream, or if your messaging just isn't hitting like it used to, today's episode is going to hit home and really set some things straight for you. If that's something that you've been trying to figure out on your own for a while now, I'd love to invite you to my Strategic Marketing Campus workshop. It's a free, live, 4-hour session that I host every month where we don't just brainstorm marketing ideas. We build a real strategy. You're going to walk away with a 90-day plan that reflects where you are in business and the audience you actually want to reach right now. The link to register is in the show notes, and I'd love to see your name on the RSVP list this month. And this month is really special because the onboarding for the first cohort starts in May. So you need to be here in April to experience it, see what it's like, confirm that this is the experience for you so you can sign up and be on that list for the cohort that starts in May. All right, so now let's talk about what happens when your audience evolves, and you might have missed it. All right, so when your audience evolves, you need to adapt. And this one is personal because truthfully, I've lived it several times. Your audience that you attract when you're just starting out is not always the audience that you need to build on long term. And somewhere along the line, you're probably going to realize, wait a minute, I'm not really trying to help beginners anymore. I want to work with women who are serious about scaling, or I'm not really interested in those that are just right out of college. I'm looking for people who are a little bit more experienced and ready to get to the next level. That shift right there, it changes everything, because once your audience shifts, everything needs to shift in how you market your services and everything else. Right, so growth-focused CEOs need different messaging than startup solopreneurs. In the book that I'm writing, I talk about the clarity gap. That's the space between where your business started and where it's evolving. And the part that shifts means that your ideal client is no longer the woman or the person who just started. She's the one who's already up and running and now needs clarity to scale. And that's, again, that woman is a totally different person. Her needs, her pain points, her concerns, her choices are all different and on a different level. So you need to connect with her on a different level. So when your audience evolves, they need more depth, not just inspiration. They want systems, not just ideas. And they're thinking long term, not just the day-to-day life. So if you're still using language meant for beginners and you're no longer serving beginners, it's going to feel off for both of you, for both your audience and for you. All right, so what you want to do to resolve this is audit your offers and ask, who is this really for? One of the first things I do with my clients when they feel out of sync with their audience is to offer a simple audit. I want you to take a look, a very hard look at a few things to kind of assess yourself and audit yourself. Take a look at your freebies and your lead magnets. What about your core offers and the messaging on your sales page? Ask yourself a few questions as you're looking at these items. Who was I speaking to when I wrote this? Is this still the person I want to work with now? And are these the things that people need the most that I want to help in what they're struggling with right now? Sometimes you don't need to throw everything out. You just need to reposition it. And this is exactly what I do with the Empower Her program and why I created the Strategic Marketing Campus workshop. It's built for growth-focused women who want structure, not just surface-level marketing hacks, who need that somebody to kind of hold their hand and kind of point out some things of what you may be miscommunicating and how you're sending missed signals with what you're talking about in your messaging, but what it is that you really want to do and how you help people. Right? So there may be a disconnect there, and a simple audit can help you find those gaps and start to clarify and correct those messaging. The next thing you want to do is revisit your buyer persona and adapt the tone and delivery. I love this exercise, and I recommend people do it often, more often than you think. I love quarterly revisits. At least half a year, those quarterly revisits just really help you just hone in on your ideal persona often and making sure that you're always aligned. If your audience has matured, your content should mature too. If your services is maturing, and that means the audience that you're trying to reach is maturing, then the content that you're putting out there, your messaging should mature to that same level also. So that means less how-to content and more strategic insights. You might be moving from motivational posts to more thought leadership posts. You might be offering behind the scenes frameworks instead of just surface level wins. And yes, we talk about this in the buyer persona section of the canvas. And yes, we talk about this in the buyer persona section of the canvas. And if it's not familiar to you, the workshop is going to give you the exact structure you need to figure it out. And in the mastermind, we go even deeper to make sure you really have your ideal persona, your buyer persona mapped out so it can help with your messaging and everything that happens, because everything in your business stems from knowing your ideal customer. And if we don't have that person right, then your messaging, everything else is going to feel off and misaligned. All right, so the next thing we need to do today is to communicate the shift. Don't ghost your current audience. So if you've been communicating in a certain way for a very long time, and then you had this aha moment, you did your audit, you did the work, and you realized, ooh, there's a disconnect here. I no longer want to reach the audience I did before when I started this pattern. You don't want to just completely flip the script on your audience and confuse them. Here's what a lot of entrepreneurs do. This is where they drop the ball. So you shift your focus and suddenly you start speaking to a whole new group. But the old audience, they're still listening and they're still paying attention, and they're like, hey, can you help me? Can you meet my needs? So now they're confused. And so the solution is you just need to be honest. Share that your vision has evolved, share that your company or your services are evolving, and invite them to evolve with you. Create an intentional offboarding experience for folks who no longer fit. So if you're helping clients in that old system, and it's just, again, you just feel that misalignment with where you're at, not only in the services that you're doing, but the way you're communicating, you need to start communicating that with your current clients and with your audience, the new potential leads, and fill in that gap, build that bridge, and close the experience. So like if there's some clients that are like, okay, no, I still want the original one, and you're like, I don't want to do that anymore, you may need to consider offboarding that experience. And that way you're making up space and room for the clients that you're ready to help and want to help. All right, so you don't need to burn any bridges. You don't need to walk in this new season of life, but you do need to own the shift, because the shift needs to happen for you and your business to grow. And the last thing for today is to let the data guide your next steps, not just your feelings. Sometimes you feel like your audience has changed, but the data may say otherwise. Before you overhaul everything, you need to look at your analytics, what's still working. So depending on your goal, your objectives, the platform that you're doing, you need to figure out, okay, what data can you access to start looking at engagement or looking at views to see how your audience is responding to the content and the communications that you've been putting out, and see what's actually working. So again, it's not about feelings. You might feel a certain way, but if the data shows different information, you have stuff to think about. You want to look at the conversion points. Who is buying and when are they buying? At what point are they starting to buy with you? What is the information that they have been seeing and consuming to make them believe and understand that they can trust you enough to make that decision and to make that leap and buy with you? Look at those conversion points and see, okay, wait, great, what is working, what's not? And then check your engagement, of course. Who's responding, who is commenting, who is lingering on different videos and posts. That's going to give a good signal to the content that's actually resonating with your audience. If it's the wrong audience, that's a good signal to know that, okay, they're engaging with this content, so that might not be the content you want to use anymore, because that's not the audience you want to attract. So just figure out what the data is, see what it's saying, and it will help you decide whether or not you need to adjust. And hey, if it feels like a lot to sort out alone, you know where I'm going with this. This is what we talk about in the mastermind, how to handle these situations, and you're not alone. This is you. Nobody should ever feel like they're alone in this entrepreneurial journey. You should build a community around you with chambers, with different organizations, but you have great people, great coaches out there that can help you along the way so that you're not making these decisions by yourself and you are getting out of the feelings, getting into the data, and being able to make some good decisions on the direction of your business. All right, so if this episode made you think, I need to rework my messaging and offers ASAP, come join me for the next Strategic Marketing Canvas workshop. We're going to dive into your audience, your offer, and your next 90 days. It's live, it's free, and it's linked in the show notes. I would love to have you there. And next week, we're going to be wrapping up April with one of my favorite CEO level skills, and that's creating offers that actually serve your audience. Until then, stay bold, stay strategic, stay in your lane, and of course, keep shining.